Good evening. We're going to get started. I apologize for starting a few minutes late here, but we're going to get started. I know you're anxious to get to your sport meetings. My name's Guy Oddie. I'm the new athletic director here at Delavan-Darien. Excited to get started. The other person that you will need to meet at some point, student athletes, is Mrs. Katzman. Ms. Katzman is at the desk out front handing out the forms. She is our administrative assistant in the athletics/activities office. That will be your first person you contact as you enter into our office. There's just a general outline of our meeting tonight. The plan is to keep it brief, because like I said, you're anxious to get to your sport meetings, so appreciate you being here tonight. Those are our full coaches. Each one of them has a room lined up for later. You can meet them at their sport meetings. Athletic Activities Office. Our mission is to promote life skills through athletics and extracurricular opportunities. We have an open door policy. Our door is always open. If the door is closed, that means nobody's in the office. So the door is always open for you new student athletes. And leave the auditorium, turn to the right, straight down the hallway. We will literally run into our office. Okay? Our job is to enforce the athletic code. I'm not going to read the code to you that is online. Obviously, we work closely with coaches to provide the best facilities and opportunities for our student athletes. School district website. On our school district website, you will find schedules. If you work with me here for a minute, I'm going to show you something that I think from a parental standpoint, a grandparent standpoint, would be advantageous. On our school district website, if you go to the high school, once you get to the high school, if you go under athletics, you go to the Southern Lakes Conference website. It seems kind of ridiculous to go to the conference website to get to our website, but it is what it is. Click on Delavan-Darien. You will get a listing of all the activities that are going on today and this week. If you click on the calendar, you can switch months. You can pick out a day on the calendar to see if there's something going on that particular day. Underneath there, you can go down and you can view any schedule you'd like to see as well. Okay? The other thing that I want to point out your attention, parents, grandparents, right up here, notify me. If you sign up for Notify Me, you will be contacted immediately anytime there's a change to the schedule that you are interested in. You have to decide which schedule you're interested in. You select that, follow the prompts through here. It will send you an email if there's a change in the schedule that you're interested in. As soon as we make the change, you get notified of the change. During the winter time, very helpful. During the springtime, very helpful. A lot of things get canceled, change in the spring. You will be notified immediately of any changes. So that's advantageous. The other thing about that is if you don't know where you're going to an away site, it will give you directions on where to go as well. So I highly recommend Notify Me for all parents. All of our coaches will be on that as well, because that will access all their schedules. Other things on that school district website, the NCAA requirements for those of you who are interested in that, and of course our athletic code handbook. I am not going to consult your intelligence and read through that tonight, but there are some things that we will talk about later. Before you are allowed to participate, you will have to go through the ticket to play process. These forms are all located out front. If you don't have time between now and your meeting, we will stay out there after your meeting as well to pick up all the forms that you need. There are 8 different things you need to accomplish before you can participate. 8 different things. Okay? And just going through the list real quickly, you need to have a physical or alternate year card. Has to be done. If you don't have that done, you don't do anything. Training rule agreement, you have to sign off on that, saying you agree to abide by our handbook. WI eligibility form, that's a WI requirement. You have to sign off on their form. Emergency contact form, that is for our purposes. That goes in our first aid kits. Heaven forbid there's an injury, we have the contact information for mom or dad who can get a hold of you immediately. Okay, that's very important we have that. That is a WI requirement as well. The concussion form we'll talk a little bit more about later. That is a state requirement. There's a form for you to fill out up there. There's also an informational sheet with that. Take a look at it, parents. Look through that. All I'm going to say about that right now is we are going to err on the side of caution. It's not worth it. When in doubt, we're going to sit them out. Okay, we'll talk more about that in a minute. Oh, I'm sorry. Cautionary statement. The concussion form you only need to sign once per year. And that is a state requirement. We used to have to fill out 3 of those during the year. Once per year. The cautionary statement you fill out once during your career for each sport that you participate in. That's the sport-specific cautionary statement. There is a $25 athletic fee that is to be paid in the main office. And I understand that that has been, slid a little bit in the past. Remember, you have to have all of these things accomplished before Mr. Adi is going to sign off on your ticket to play. And if coach doesn't have your blue ticket to play, you are not going to participate. Period. You've got to get these things done. The last thing on your checklist is your meeting online confirmation. You're here in your meeting tonight. You can fill out that form that you're going to pick up out front. You got that one accomplished. Okay? Those 8 things need to be done before you can participate. Football players, if you don't have those 8 things done, you are not practicing on Tuesday. Plain and simple. Okay? Got to get them done. I talked about the handbook. There's a couple things I want to touch on quickly. Academic eligibility. 2 or more failing grades, you are academically ineligible to participate for 15 school days and nights. 2 or more failing grades. If you have 1, you're still okay. Not excited about that, but you're still okay. All right? If you don't get the grades, the bottom line is we're here for education. If you don't get the grades, you're not going to play. When do we do grade checks? After 15 days. I'll go through that process in a minute. We do them at the end of the first quarter. We'll have Netflix that comes out, and that kicks in immediately for the start of the second quarter. At the semester, we use the semester grade, not the second quarter grade. That's the difference. We use the semester grade for eligibility. All right? Third quarter grades, and then the second semester, which is the final spring grades, we use the second semester. Again, not the fourth quarter, we use the second semester. Fall eligibility, which is what we're dealing with right now. If somebody's ineligible, the eligibility dates are set by the WIAA. The only one I looked at right now was football, because they start right away. If someone is ineligible in football, they become eligible on August 20th. All right, the WI sets those dates for the fall sports because the fall sports all start before school starts. If we waited and implemented the same rules that we do for the rest of the season, the fall sports kids would be out for the majority of their season. It'd be unfair to them. Regain ineligibility. The student picks up the form from the athletic director office, collects signatures from the teachers. You must be passing all your classes at that point. I've gotten the question in the past, Mr. Adi, I failed math and science. I'm now passing those, but my social study grade is now an F. Well, you're ineligible for 3 more weeks. You have to be passing all your classes at grade check time. You return that form to the athletic director, I will determine your status from there. Coach does not allow you to play until you have written approval from me for that student athlete to return to action. Again, I hope you get the impression here, I hope you understand. Education is first. That's why you're here. The other thing I want to touch on is social media. In your student handbook, under school citizenship behavior, under misuse of social media. Social media is all over, I understand that. It can be good, can be bad. Any online posting will be consistent with federal and state laws, as well as team and school rules and regulations. You say, well, what are some of those? Some of the examples of behavior that's prohibited on social media. Sexually explicit, profane, lewd, indecent, illegal, defamatory language or actions, derogatory language regarding school personnel or other students, and of course harassment or bullying. And you're saying, who makes the decision on that? There you go, right in red. Administration retains the right to deal with any action covered or not specifically covered by these rules. We often get the comment, that's not fair. You're holding us more accountable than the other students. Athletics and activities is a privilege, it is not a right. Because it's a privilege, we're held to a higher standard. And you may say, that's not right, that's not fair. You're right, it's not. That's the way it is. Okay? You're held to a higher standard. You're representing the school. You're representing this district. You're representing your parents. You are held to a higher standard. The concussion forms, we talked about those a little bit earlier. That is state mandated and WI mandated. Parents, please read through that information. You as a parent have the right to remove your student athlete. Okay? Watch for the signs. Student athletes, watch for the signs. It's not worth it. You've all seen the horror stories. You've all seen, the guys from way back when that had 15 of these concussions. How are they doing now? It's not worth it. When in doubt, we're going to sit them up. And with that, I want to introduce our athletic trainer, Mr. Romeo, who's going to talk a few words as well. Young student athletes, you need to know where this man's located. You need to get in and utilize his services. His job, and I'm going to say this again and again, his job is to get our student athletes back on the field, back on the court sooner. Sometimes that's misconstrued about, well, he kept me out. No. His job is to get you back safely, as quickly as possible. So with that said, Mr. Romeo.
Like I said, I'm Ryan Romeo. I'm the athletic trainer. My room is in between the two gyms. It'd be the easiest place to find me. When we start with all the sports, I am always here. I always tell this to all the teams when I go and talk to them individually. I cannot stand it when you guys say I'm not around. I'm always around. My wife says I'm never around at home, so I can't not be in two places at the same time. Okay? I am always here. I will be here from the start of the first thing to the end of the last thing during these first couple of weeks with football and then when everything else starts. If you need something, you need to find me. I may not be in my room. I will be on school premises somewhere. Soccer's that way. Volleyball's in the two gyms. Football's over there. You need to find me. With that, the concussion impact testing, all freshmen will be doing, all freshmen in football, volleyball, and soccer will be doing concussion testing on different dates. Football is going to be August 3rd, right before equipment handout. You guys should know this. It should not be a surprise. I believe freshmen hand out equipment at 11. At 11, we're going at 10 o'clock to get it done. You guys will be done before you do equipment handout, okay? Parents, I need your athletes to be at the school at 10 o'clock so we can get this done. I don't have the computer labs for all day, and I need to get this done. This is something that helps us determine return to play, okay? Going along with that, your volleyball and soccer teams, those dates, testing dates have not been set in stone yet, but we're looking like the first week of practices for both those sports. Once you guys start, those dates will be determined, and it'll be during practice time, and you guys want to come in early. But football, you will need to be here before your equipment handout and get it done. All freshmen and kids who have not done this yet. Last year we did everyone. Some kids might have slipped through, but everyone needs to be aware that we're doing the impact testing. Going along with concussions, the WIA, if you go to the WIA website, has great information about what to look for as far as signs, symptoms, return to play. We follow the WIA recommendations there. Like Guy said, I'm very conservative when it comes to head injuries. It's not worth it. Someone shows any signs of a concussion, they're done for that day. I don't play around. That's what it is. It's set in stone. There's no gray areas with concussions. It is the way it is. And that's simply because it's state law. It's not my rules, okay? The state mandates that we have to do it this way, and that's why we follow it. The WIA has its own guidelines for return to play. It's a 5-day return to play process. The only kind of gray area that we have is day 4 or step 4 and 5 are the exact same, at least I consider them are. Step 4 is full contact practice. Day 5 is full game practice. So that's the only kind of gray area that we hit when it comes to return to play protocol. Reporting injuries and return to play. If you as parents want to take your child to a doctor, by all means go. I'm never going to tell a parent not to take their kid to the doctor. But if you do take them, I require a clearance note from that doctor. It needs to be in writing that you went to the doctor and that doctor is clearing you. If I find out that a kid went to the doctor and I do not have a clearance note, I will sit them until I get the clearance note. That is protecting you as a parent, your child as an athlete, and the school from administrative area, okay? If you go to the doctor, a clearance note needs to be in my hand. Do not give it to the coaches. Do not give it to Mr. Adi at the athletic director's office or Ms. Katzman. It needs to come to me. I hold on to those. Return to play. It's very simple as far as concussions and with any other injuries. Is if you have a clearance note, you're good. The return to play for the concussions, you can go to the doctor, but that doctor, as soon as you get that clearance note from the doctor, we still will do the 5-day return to play protocol as mandated by the WIA and the state. Okay, that's a little bit of a confusion that we've had in the past. Is I got a clearance note about this, I'm good to go. No. We will still do your 5-day return to play protocol because according to the state, you have to be cleared by a professional, a medical professional to return to practice, and then the 5-day return to play starts. So it will be that way, is if you get cleared by a doctor, great, but you will still do the 5-day return to play protocol. If you have any questions, again, you can find me in my office. My extension here is 4463. If you call the school, you can always get a hold of me that way. Or I have an email account here. You can always email me, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. The other thing is I have a cell phone that has an Indiana area code. It's a 219 area code. So if you see that area code, it's probably me trying to get a hold of you because I need to talk to you about your son or daughter. Don't just let it go to voicemail. If you have the caller ID, 219 is more than likely going to be me. Pick it up and so I can talk to you. If you have any questions, you can find me after here before the breakout sessions, and good luck for the year.
Thank you. I want to follow up on a couple things. Mr. Romeo mentioned that if you go to a doctor, he requires that note. That's not true. That's a WIAA requirement. If you take your son or daughter to a doctor, we cannot legally play them until we have a note from that doctor releasing them to play. Okay, that's a WI requirement. The other thing I want to mention is you basically, at Delavan-Darien High School, have a free athletic training service provided for you. Utilize that. When in doubt, talk to him. Again, his job is to get your son or daughter back on the field, back in the gym, back in the court, as soon as possible with safety in mind. Okay? Utilize that service. The other thing about concussions is we want you student athletes to remember what you did in high school. Okay? You talk to some of the older folks that have been through this and they have quite a few things. I can talk to my father. He doesn't remember a thing from high school. Okay? I had a couple of concussions when I was younger. Some people that says that explains the way I am now. But that was a joke. Thank you. It's for your own good, and we're not. That's not negotiable. When in doubt, we're going to sit them out. Okay. I know it sounds kind of harsh and stuff, but trust me, it will thank us later. Booster Club. Is Miss Jen in? Oh, front row center. Terrific.
Hi everyone, I'll be real quick here. Most of you might have grabbed one of these sheets on your way in. It just kind of explains the High School Booster Club and what we're all about. We are here to provide support to the student athletes, and basically what we do is provide things that maybe the high school athletic fund just can't afford. And so we provide that additional service for our athletes because we want the best for our athletes. As a parent, you are automatically a member of the Booster Club. You don't have to pay fees, you don't have to sign a contract, you can just show up. The third Monday of every month we meet at 7 o'clock. We try to keep them short, try to get you out of there by 8. And we usually vote on items such as what sport's getting what equipment, what we're gonna buy for what team. So your vote will count, and all you have to do is show up for a meeting once a month. We also, in addition to the things we buy for the programs at seniors at graduation, we give 2 $1,000 scholarships out every year to a graduating senior. If you look at the sheets too, real quick, I'll just highlight a couple things that we bought this past year. The track and field team has been without a pole vault, any pole vaulters for years because we had a subpar pole vault pit. We spent over $17,000 this year and bought them a brand new pole vault pit. So now we are offering pole vaulting. Our football coaches will have new headsets this year, and we paid for those. We've bought new warm-ups for girls basketball, travel bags for the programs, new iPads, and then we also purchased something called Huddle, which allows us to videotape the athlete, and then the athlete has access to that. They can make highlight reels and send them off to colleges. The coaches and athletes can sit and watch their Huddle account. And then the baseline testing that Ryan Romeo was talking about, we pay for that every year. Those are just a few things we do. We spend between $30,000 and $40,000 a year on our athletes. So on the bottom it says, how can you help? We do 3 major fundraisers a year. We do the fair booth coming up in September. That sign up was outside there. You can sign up for a shift for the fair. We do all home game concessions, and then we do something new we've done for 2 years, it's the lacrosse tournament. We do that in June, and we host about 80 teams from around the area, the Midwest, for lacrosse, and we do concession stands for 2 days. We don't do any selling. We're not high pressure, but we do ask that if you have a student athlete, you try your hardest and you help us out, because in return, your student athlete is getting the extra stuff. So if you have any questions, there's an email address, or you can talk to Shelly or I. We're both outside. Thanks, guys.
We're always encouraging our student athletes to get involved. Parents, this is your opportunity to get involved because it comes back to benefit your son or daughter. So get involved. The last thing I had is just the room assignments for tonight. Those rooms are all open, and the coaches will be in there directing their meetings and stuff. So if you have any questions, I'll hang around here for a while. Otherwise, the forms are out front. The forms will be there after your meetings tonight as well. So if you haven't picked them up yet, please stop in and pick them up. One thing you need to do as soon as possible, if you haven't done it already, is get the physical done. That's the one thing that holds us up more than anything else. Get that physical done. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks for coming. Remember, sports are fun. It's fun. Okay? Have a good year. Thanks for coming.